as we forgive. Hello, everybody. I'm Parker Pruitt, and thank you for joining me on the Inseparable Podcast. Hey, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great week so far. I appreciate you tuning in. On this episode of the Inseparable Podcast, I'd like to spend some time going through the Lord's Prayer, what we Christians call the Lord's Prayer. It's a few verses that Jesus taught his disciples how to pray. And, he said, don't be like the Pharisees and be repetitive with their prayers. Don't be like this group. Don't be like that group. Don't do prayer in public, to get eyes on you and just to get a pat on the back, so to speak. He said that with a lot of things, with fasting, with prayer, with other things, and just your spiritual walk. Just make it more of a private thing, unless you just feel called to obviously pray for somebody or speak life to somebody in public in front of people. That's fine, obviously, but I think what he's focusing on is just to make your prayer life personal with God. And so I'd like to read those verses in Matthew where he talks about how to pray. Once again, this is known as the Lord's Prayer. And it starts in Matthew chapter 6, verse 9. It goes all the way to verse 13. So I'll read. It says, Jesus says, "Pray then like this, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we have also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil." Now, I just kind of want to break it down a little bit further. A couple of things I want to point out is, a lot of people get tripped up on some of the wording that's used. The beginning part, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Hallowed is just another way of saying holy. Holy is your name. Your name is set apart. It's one above every other name. So that's all that means. So holy is your name. It starts out with, this is who I'm praying to. I'm praying to the God of all the universe, of all creation. This is who I'm praying to. This is a God who is above every king, above every kingdom, above every person, above every circumstance. He's above it all. So that's who you're praying to. And then it says, "Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." And that's not the part I want to focus on. But once again, it's structuring your prayer around who you're praying to, what you want done. So he's saying to pray to God that his will be done on the earth, just as his will is already being done in heaven. So it's no guarantee that his will is being done in the earth with everybody in creation, right? We have to pray that gets implemented. We have to pray for our leaders. We have to pray for our families to embody that will and that kingdom be manifested in the earth at every single day. Then it says, "Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us." This is the part I want to really focus on. "Forgive us our debts." Some translations, some versions say trespasses. Some say wrongs. Some say debts. There's different words you can put there, but forgive us our debts or trespasses as we have also forgiven the trespasses against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Now, that part, forgive us our debts as we have forgiven our debtors, that's what I want to focus on. You see, God only forgives us as much as we forgive others. You see, we're so intertwined with humanity. We're so interwoven with humanity. We're codependent on the world around us. Whether we are claim to be antisocial or not, whether we hate the world, and just are animal lovers or whatever the case may be, sometimes I know it feels like that, and it feels like I'd rather just be alone with my dog all day. I get it. But we are called to be out in creation, right? Influencing and affecting creation. we are called to love our neighbors as ourselves, no matter what those neighbors look like. That's how he gets us to do his will without force, which is to love our neighbor. He gets us to do that by, hey, I'm only going to forgive you. I'm the God of everything. I'm the God of eternity. I'm the God of right now. I'm the God of the past. I'm the God of everything. And I'm only going to forgive you as much as you forgive those who've wronged you. So if you're harboring hate, bitterness, um, grudges in your heart against others, you're not going to expect, you can't expect to God, for God to shell out some, forgiveness and some mercy on your life and the wrongs that you've done, because we're all not perfect, right? We've all fallen short of the glory of God. We've all fallen short of that perfect standard, right? So we need his mercy. We need his grace. We need his forgiveness. But when we're selfish, when we're self-centered, and we're just harboring this hatred toward our neighbors, no matter what those neighbors look like, that's when we run into problems. I want to read another couple of verses here that support this, and that's Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 through 5. And it says, "Judge not," this is Jesus speaking, mind you, "judge not, that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when there is a log that is in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the log out of your own eye, then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye." I like how Pastor Brian Zahn puts it. Brian Zahn's a local pastor here in North Kansas City, actually. And he puts it like this. He said, "You've heard it said, love the sinner, hate the sin." But that opens up room, and this is me speaking, that opens up room for judgment. That opens up room for, okay, I really hate what you're doing, this and that, but, I still love you. That's still a feeling of judgment, right? That person's still going to probably feel judged by what you're saying. But instead of loving the sinner and hating the sin, we should love the sinner, yes, but hate your own sin. Because I guarantee you, you're not without sin. You're still struggling with lust. You're still struggling with greed. You're still struggling with addiction, whatever the case may be. But we can't throw stones at anybody until we start living like Christ, right? And even at that point, we're not to throw stones. We're supposed to love, right? We're supposed to love that sinner and just hate your own sin. Take the speck out of your own eye. Take the log that's in your own eye, and then you'll see clearly to help those around you in a loving way, right? In a loving manner. You only love God as much as you love your neighbor. So I go back to, we're so intertwined, we're so dependent on one another for God's mercy, for God's salvation. We can only love God as much as we love our neighbor. That goes for the Democrat, the Republican, the Independent, the Libertarian, whatever you identify as. That goes for Hamas. That goes for Israel, Palestine. That goes for supporters of Ukraine or Russia. That goes for everybody. Your neighbor is your fellow human being. And I try to always go to, the worst of the worst, the person that I can't see myself loving. That's who my neighbor is. That's who my neighbor is. Whether I disagree with you on policy, whether I disagree with you on a war, on this or on that, at the end of the day, I'm called to love you. If you need, a helping hand up, if you need a word of encouragement, if you need a drink, some food, I am supposed to be there and be that helping hand to you. Be God's hands and feet in the earth. Jesus said about the Roman soldiers who were killing him on the cross, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing." So you might, just look at it from that perspective, like, Lord, I know this person probably isn't on the right track. I know what they're doing is antichrist or against you, but forgive them. They know not what they do, and help me to forgive them too. Help me to love them and show mercy and forgive them as well, because I want that mercy. You can't show too much mercy, guys. You cannot show too much love. You cannot show too much mercy. It's not a balance of justice and mercy. No, God's justice is His love and mercy. It's His love, mercy, kindness that leads men and women to repentance. I just want to leave you with this one last quick little verse, and that is from the Sermon on the Mount that Jesus preached, his most famous sermon, the one that we should live by. We should live by the Sermon on the Mount, which is the start of Matthew chapter 5. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 7, is one of the blessed people that Jesus speaks about. If you want to be blessed, be merciful. So Matthew chapter 5, verse 7 says, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy." If you want to receive mercy from God up above, I think we all do, right? If you're a human being, if you've been alive for more than 5 minutes, you probably need some mercy, right? So show mercy. Start showing mercy to people. Start showing mercy to the ones who are quote unquote your enemies, the ones who have wronged you, the ones who, and I know this isn't easy. I know I'm just kind of barely scratching the surface on some of this stuff. I know people have gone through trauma and this and that, but mercy is for yourself at the end of the day. It's not necessarily even for the person who wronged you, just like forgiveness. They go hand in hand. I'm not saying you have to carry a relationship with that person or any of those things, but show mercy. Show mercy, show forgiveness, because as we forgive others, that's how much God's going to forgive us and love us, be merciful on us. Now, His mercy is endless. So you can't out mercy Jesus. You can't out mercy God. You can't out love God. But it starts with you and your neighbors. It starts with you and your neighbors. Start showing mercy to the neighbor. And that's your expression to God of how much you need that mercy received back. When we do things, like showing mercy to, the stranger. Maybe they haven't done anything to receive any mercy, but we still show that mercy. That blesses God. That blesses God, and that magnifies His name in the earth. Just the other day, I was driving down the road. I had just finished some training, like a 4-hour training at work. I was starving. I hadn't eaten in a day and a half or so, and I went to Sonic, got me a burger, big juicy cheeseburger with the whole 9 yards, the French or the tater tots and the cheese bites, whatever, cheddar bites, whatever they're called, and a large drink. And I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna feast. As soon as I leave, I'm going to empty parking lot to eat, and as I'm rolling down the road, I see this homeless guy on the corner. I'm like, oh man, like I automatically started hearing the voice of God, like, it's time to give. It's time to give your, some of the food up or whatever. And I'm battling inside because I'm starving. This is where I struggle the most. And I gotta admit to you all the listeners, you are my witness. I didn't do it. I failed. I fell short. I did not give him anything. I ate every single bite of that meal, and I felt guilty every bite. But you know what? He still forgives. He still forgives as, each day goes on, there's other opportunities. So if you've fallen short, which we all have, if you failed one day, tomorrow is a new day. His mercies are new every single morning. So take advantage of those. Take advantage of His mercies. Go out and express His love and mercy out in the world, because he's showing it to you. So reciprocate that. Go out and show mercy so He can pour out His mercy in your life. Well, I hope you guys got something out of this message. Hope it blessed you in some way. It's been on my heart for a few days. So anyway, if you don't mind, leave a like, leave a subscribe, whatever you need to do. Please bless this channel with that. I hope you all have a blessed week. Go show mercy.